welcome to a brand new series of Fifth Gear. Oh, it's good to be back.
And as you can see, there's been a few changes since Vicky and Co were last on air.
Yes, we have a new home, the Ace Cafe, a venue that is steeped in speed and petrolhead culture.
And it is a real cafe with real customers, real cups of tea, and more importantly, real bacon butties.
But don't panic, this is still Fifth Gear. Our cholesterol levels may change over the next 13 weeks, but you can still rely on us to bring you the best of the best in car stuff from all around the world.
Yeah, lots to look forward to later in the series. Stuff like Freddie Flintoff and Kevin Peterson, KP, learning how to race, an exclusive look behind the scenes of the car stunts in the new Bond movie, Casino Royale.
I cannot wait to see that movie. Yep. And we start the series off with an absolute corker of a show. We've got Tiff Needell. The greatest driver to have ever lived, ever. Racing the latest Mitsubishi Evo 9 against a stunt plane.
We've also got Tom DJing in the ultimate mobile disco at Creamfields with Radio 1's Annie Mac.
Oh dear. Now that I've been in the hottest car in the world right now, the new Mini GP, and I'll be racing it against a world champion, Andy Moore.
OK, wait a minute. Now, this is a very good opportunity to point out that I'm not a car journalist.
I know,
I'm not an expert on cars. Like many of our viewers there, I just love cars, you know, I like them. So, in the spirit of that, who the hell is Andy Moore?
He races remote control cars.
Oh, toy cars. You mean he races toy cars?
Don't knock it. Those little puppies will do 80 miles an hour. They have pit stops and they change tyres and everything.
It's a toy car. It's a toy car. Well, while you're off playing with toy cars, I was out meeting world leaders, talking about important global issues. You know, I don't want to big myself up or anything, but when a big US politician comes over to these shores, giving it all that, the producers thought, who's the man to go and meet this fella?
Who was it?
It was me. That's who. Me. And we haven't even mentioned the stunt we're going to be doing with that dirty, great big digger parked outside. I'll give you a clue, though. It does involve a 16-year-old Golf, and it's not pretty, and we're hoping it's going to be ugly, in fact.
Oh, yeah. And we start, ladies and gentlemen, with your moment of tiff.
This is the Mitsubishi Evo 9 FQ 360. 360 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, 157 miles an hour, 35,500 pounds. Right now, it's the ultimate Evo.
Now, blistering though the pace might be, it's still not the sort of everyday road car that you might imagine. The radio's got one of these mandy little tiny button jobs, which I can never work out what's on or off. The gear lever's got the most ridiculous sort of full stitching, which is already wearing a hole into my palm of my hand. And it's also got a lot of noise. It's got a tiring car to drive much distances at top speed.
But on an empty track with a turbo whistling, you realise what this car is all about. It's an adrenaline pump.
Lay it on me, brother. This evolution of these cars, they do get better and better. The only trouble is they're making them so good now that, although I had a wild bit of oversteer there, once the tyres warm up, it's almost hard to get them back out. All these complicated differentials now do such a good job. In the end, you just have to try a bit of the old Scandinavian flick. Whoa! Oh, I think it sort of worked.
We needed something fast to race against the Evo. We came up with this. The pilot is Miles Garland, a former Harrier pilot and weapons instructor who's flown on operations over Afghanistan and Iraq. For 4 years, he was a Red Arrow, and now he flies for the Blades aerobatics team. He'll be quicker in a straight line, but I'll be faster in the bends. But who will win the race? Join us later to find out.
Tiff Blooming Dell, we are not worthy.
We are so not. I can't wait to see him against a stunt plane.
Who's going to win?
Well, do you know what? I think it's going to be quite close because those stunt planes are really nimble. They'll be quicker down the straights. But, you know, if anyone can beat it, Tiff can.
There's less friction in the air, though.
Genius.
I don't know if that helps. Well, that's the end of part 1, but do stick around for part 2 when I go eye to eye with Al Gore.
I can't wait to see that. And we reveal how you can win the new Mini GP. Welcome back to Fifth Gear. Now, if they counted the votes correctly in Florida, Al Gore would now be president of the USA rather than George Bush.
Some say that. Some say that,
Yeah, some say. Well, since then, Mr. Gore has been trying to save the planet, promoting An Inconvenient Truth, his new movie all about global warming. And high up on his list of recommendations, eliminate the internal combustion engine and drive less. Oh, clearly we needed a smart political thinker to go and take him to task.
I am Al Gore. I used to be the next president of the United States of America. The Arctic is experiencing faster melting. If this were to go, sea level worldwide would go up 20 feet.
A lecture about environmental science isn't exactly going to bother snakes on a plane at the box office. But if ours to be believed, the conclusion to his screenplay could be the most dramatic ever.
Think of the impact of a couple 100,000 refugees, and then imagine 100 million.
Welcome to the show, Al.
Thank you.
First of all, I saw the film last night. It was a horror movie.
I see it as an action movie because it's designed to move the audience to take action. This is the only crisis we've ever faced that has the potential to end human civilization. Every day, we are now putting 70 million tons of global warming pollution into the Earth's atmosphere. It's absurd.
About 20% of the chief greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide, comes from cars. Although it's worth remembering the plane that brought Al to Britain created more CO2 than my car does in a year. I wanted to find out what he really thought of the thing we all love. Okay, this is a car show, so are cars, do you perceive cars as being evil?
No, I don't see them as being evil.
Do you like cars?
I love cars, absolutely. Always have. I used to draw cars, and back in the days when I was young, you don't remember these days because you're so much younger, but when I was young, the new models each year represented the most exciting event, and my friends and I would wait for the sneak previews and then trace them out and look, the days of tail fins and all those ridiculous designs. So I love cars.
This came as a bit of a scoop. It turns out he's not a tree-hugging hippie after all. Al Gore is that rare thing, an American who deserves some respect. He likes cars just as much as the rest of us, but I felt his film was short of answers. So I watched the film, and the only thing I found frustrating was the majority of the film was telling me about the horrors which were about to happen to me, and there was very little telling me what the solutions were. So I got the guilt trip, and then I was like, now what do I do about it? What are the solutions?
One thing that I recommend to people is to think about becoming carbon neutral, which means, of course, to reduce carbon dioxide in an amount that more than compensates for what you're responsible for.
In practice, this means while Al bought his wife a gas-guzzling '65 Mustang, he himself drives a Toyota Prius hybrid. Alternatively, you could plant a tree after every journey. Not as daft as it sounds, given that next year, Land Rover will offset CO2 on behalf of new customers, for a small fee, of course. Perhaps more realistic is finding cleaner alternatives to petrol and diesel. Later in the series, Tiff will be showing just how much fun a biofuel car can be. Al himself enjoys driving and admits it's the fast stuff that will turn people on.
I drove one of these new electric cars made in California, the Tesla, which has fantastic performance, and it's all electric. And some of the new approaches, I think, are going to be very exciting from a performance standpoint, design standpoint, and also environmentally responsible.
So you're not saying turn the clocks back, you're saying go forward with technology.
Turn them forward, yeah.
We're going to carry on driving cars.
Yes.
And carry on travelling around the planet.
Yes.
Final question, because I know you want me to finish. Final question. Do you think elections will be won in the future on green issues?
I do. I really do.
When you're President of the United States?
I'm not planning to do that. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you
meet
very
you,
much.
too.
Ooh, get you, hardcore political journalist.
Paxman.
Yes, Tim Lovejoy and Al Gore on Fifth Gear. Do you know what? He is our most famous man we've ever had on Fifth Gear, apart from Keanu Reeves. Anyway, Al Gore, on a scale of 1 to 10, how charismatic would you say he was?
8.
8?
Yeah, I'm quite impressed by him.
Really?
He was weird, though, because he was all one colour from there down. His face was not no shades of colour, all
Really?
one colour.
Why would that be?
Good makeup, I don't know. But
he
no,
not
he
have
was
a
very
pulse?
charismatic and he had very good answers to everything. I was quite impressed by him. I liked him. Big guy.
Was he? Was
Yeah,
he?
big guy. Yeah,
Really?
he was a big guy, yeah.
Did he have a firm handshake?
He did have a firm handshake and looked me in the eye a lot. Scared me a little with that. But I still think I could beat him in a fight. What that's got to do with anything, I have
I'd pay
no
money
idea.
to see that.
And on that
very
note,
interesting.
that bad note, I'll leave you and go out to the car park.
Cool. Well, whatever you think to the environment, being eco-friendly can save you some money. And Tim's gone to find out just how.
Yes, I'm here with Fifth Gear's newest recruit. It's Jonny Smith. Welcome,
Tim.
Johnny. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate.
Let's
Very
get
good.
a few things sorted straight away. Is it true that you're a real-life, genuine car journalist?
True, absolutely true.
True. You know what you're talking about, then?
I certainly do, mate.
OK. Is it also true that you once sold a bubble car to Michael Barrymore?
That is definitely true.
How much for?
£3,000.
Did you add a few quid because it was Michael Barrymore?
No, he actually haggled me.
And what was he like?
Tall and smoked an awful lot.
OK. And is it true your mum does your hair?
Sometimes.
So, Johnny, tell us all, how do we save the planet?
I'm glad you asked that, because I think at this point I should say roll VT.
That's exactly what you should say.
Well, the first thing you can do is keep an eye on your tyre pressures. You see, keeping these inflated properly will save you up to 8% on your fuel bill. You see, flat tyres cause drag, which causes your right foot to push harder, which causes your credit card to get rinsed harder. Keep your engine tip-top. You see, a neglected motor won't run as effectively as it could, which means it's not burning the fuel as effectively as it could. Everything from the condition of your air cleaner to the state of your oil can potentially mug your MPG. Stick to your speed limits. You see, driving at 70 rather than 80 on the motorway can end up saving you about 4p a mile in a small car. Become good mates with a chap called Professor Huan Li Zhang from the University of Illinois. You see, his laboratory converts pig poo into a type of crude oil that contains 3 times the amount of energy used to produce it. Carry less weight. It's not rocket science. Out you get, son.
Interesting stuff, but investing in pig manure or driving within the speed restrictions, it's all well and good, but what can we realistically do?
I've got the perfect thing, and this is it. £850, 1987 Mercedes 250D. She runs on diesel, but I'm going to be running on chip fat, used chip oil.
You're going to put chip fat in this?
Absolutely.
What modifications are you going to have to make to this car so it runs on chip fat?
Well, not a great deal. I'm going to obviously service it, drop the oil, change the filters, and then I'm just going to put chip fat in and go.
And the point of this is what?
That means I can drive coast to coast for nothing.
So you're going to take this car from the east coast to the west coast of America just on chip fat?
Well, hold your horses. I'm going east to west UK.
When are you going?
This weekend.
Are you going to make it all the way across?
I damn well hope so.
And where are you getting your chip fat from?
Local chip shops, pubs, a few places. Got a few sources.
All right, you do it this weekend. We'll be able to see how you get on. You reckon you'll do it all the way?
I hope so.
Next week, we'll see that. Vicky?
Best of luck with that, Johnny, and make sure you bring me back something battered. Fish, preferably. Right, if there was a most wanted list for cars, the Mini GP would be at the top of it right now. Only 2,000 are being made worldwide, and demand has been so great, countries have been fighting over one another to increase their allocation. Britain is getting just 459 of them, and everyone was sold long before it was built. If you want a GP today, you'll have to pay a healthy premium over the original 22 grand price tag. Or you could have a go at winning this one in our competition, which is coming up in a few minutes' time. But first of all, how fast is the GP?
With 218 bhp, it's the most powerful production Mini ever. With about 50 HP more than the Cooper S, it's over half a second quicker to 62 miles an hour, taking 6.5 seconds. A bigger intercooler for the supercharger, a remapped ECU and some aerodynamic modifications help it to a top speed of 149 miles an hour.
And it's 40 kilograms lighter, thanks to the fact that they've got rid of a few unnecessaries, like the rear seats. So, Mini GP. The name got us thinking. Why not stage our own Mini Grand Prix? But against whom and with what? What sort of vehicle would be a fair enough match for this formidable little beast? We searched high and low, and then we came up with the answer.
Meet Andy Moore, current touring car world champion. That's international scale world champion. Andy will be competing with the fastest car he owns, an HPI Nitro 3 Evo in our special Mini Ickle Grand Prix.
So, this is it, the big one. Time to meet my match, Andy and his tiny little car. Andy, what have you got under that big beast there?
Well, this is the car that I'll be running. This is electric, so we've got a lithium polymer battery and a brushless motor and speed control.
So is everything adjustable on it?
Yep, you can adjust the camber, the caster, the shock positions, your roll centre, absolutely everything that you could adjust on a Formula 1 car, you can do on ours.
Now, do you have to heat your tyres or anything like that? How do you...
I will do, yeah, we do have
You're
tyre
going to
warmers.
heat your tyres?
Yep.
Andy?
Yep.
That's not on.
You can't do that on your road car, can you?
Well, may the best woman win. Thank you. Gotta look good on that victory podium.
This is going to be easy.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, and he's off. He's in front of me, as I thought. All I can see is his tiny little derriere. Come on, old girl. Oh. Actually, I'm keeping up with him quite well. I'm quite impressed with myself for this. Okay, hairpin. Handbrake first. Oh. He has got amazing acceleration out of the bends. I just haven't got it. My little supercharger isn't supercharging enough lower down the revs. Oh, there's an incident. What's going on? He's in the pit! Right, time to make up some seriously good time.
Andy was feeling confident enough to pit for fresh rubber, which allowed me to build up a lead.
I have to say, even though this is a kart track, this little Cooper GP is beautifully suited to it. It is a fantastic car. It's almost faultless in terms of handling.
He rejoined just ahead of me and started to reel in the gap.
Where is he? Where is he?
Even though he only had a 1.5 horsepower engine, he was soon breathing up my exhaust pipes. But I was sure I could hold him off on the final lap.
Oh, you monkey! He's just slipped up the inside of me. He's going to take the chicken fly. I don't believe it. Damn it. He's celebrating. He's running. He's happy. Not for long. Oh, watch this.
I like you for trashing his car. He deserved it. He doesn't even have a girlfriend. Well done.
Thanks.
You're the real winner. So if you would like to get your hands on one of these very rare, highly sought-after minis, you can either rob a bank and hope for the best, or you can enter our competition. It's legal, and you've got more chance of succeeding. To be in with a chance of winning, all you've got to do is answer this simple question.
When talking about motor racing, what does GP usually stand for? Is it A, Grand Prix, B, grid position, or C, great prize? I'll repeat that again. When talking about motor racing, what does GP usually stand for? Is it A, Grand Prix, B, grid position, or C, great prize? Call 0901 29 30 555 to enter, or text GEAR plus A, B, or C to 81555. We'll remind you of the numbers at the end of the show. Lines close on Monday, midday, on the 2nd of October.
I think I've got it.
At last.
I know the answer.
Do you?
I think I've got it.
Clever man. And remember, you can also enter via the fabulous information-rich Fifth Gear website, which is
5.tv/fifth gear. Is that right?
Yeah. Usual terms and conditions apply. If you don't know what they are, look them up on the website. The address is there at the bottom of the screen.
That's the end of part 2, but make sure you tune in for part 3, where Tom Ford is in a car which becomes the ultimate hi-fi with Radio 1's Annie Mac. Welcome back to Fifth Gear and to a new feature, Wreck My Ride. Meet Bart and his 16-year-old Golf. Welcome to the show, Bart.
Hi, Tim.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
As I understand it, you've had 6 cars in the last 3 years. Is that true?
Yeah, I buy cars on the internet or like eBay, places like that, and I look for ones that have got at least like 6 months MOT and tax, and that gives me a certain amount of motoring time at a fairly reasonable cost. And then when they come to the end of their life, I get rid of them.
You get rid of them. Is it true that when you get a parking ticket, you think the car's jinxed?
Yeah, absolutely. It just ruins it for me, so I don't love the car anymore.
All right, so are you sure you want us to wreck this car for you today?
Absolutely.
Vicky, he wants to wreck it. How are we going to wreck it?
We are going to wreck it with this. I'm standing on top of a 30-ton, lean, mean, metal-killing machine, and I cannot wait to wreck Bart's car.
Mate, last chance. Are you sure you want us to wreck your ride? You sure?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, we better get out, otherwise we're going to get hurt here, aren't we? So, how'd you get out of your car? It needs to be wrecked. The doors don't work.
Kev, let's wreck it!
Are you ready for this?
I am.
Here we go, mate. How does that feel?
That's gotta hurt.
Oh
no.
That's quite a powerful machine I think we've got there. Whilst you're watching that wreck your car, let me give you some facts, OK? It weighs nearly 30 tons, that machine, with 5,000 pounds per square inch of hydraulic pressure, producing a digging force of 18 tons. The 7.2-litre diesel engine kicks out at 207 horsepower at 1,800 RPM, giving it a top speed of 3 miles an hour. It's not a fast machine, but it surely is powerful when it comes to crushing your car, isn't it?
That's unbelievable.
And now, here we go.
I wonder if the tyres are going to go.
But I think your car is well and truly wrecked. They love it. They've all come out to look at it.
Rest
Your
in peace.
car is wrecked. Vicky?
Oh my word, that was so amazing. That was Wreck My Ride, and we loved it so much that we are offering our creative wrecking services to the public. So, if you've got a vehicle that you want to get rid of, your husband or your child has got a hunk of junk cluttering up your driveway, then don't pay to get it towed away. Give us a call. Well, go onto the website, actually, and click on Wreck My Ride, and we will come along and give it the send-off it truly deserves.
How about that? Wrecking a man's car as an act of charity. Brilliant.
It was mega. How'd you top it?
Tell you how. Robot golf, OK? A car that can supposedly drive itself faster around a circuit than a human being.
I don't believe that.
It's true. It is true. You look good behind there, by the way.
What can I get you?
Cup of tea, love.
A top-secret Volkswagen test facility deep in the German countryside is home to this. The autonomous Golf GTI. Making a self-driving car is remarkably easy. With ABS, a fly-by-wire throttle, an automatic gearbox and electro-hydraulic power steering, many modern cars have the necessary bits. You just need to add sophisticated GPS connected to a laser scanning eye so the car can see where it's going. It's all powered by a couple of computer chips like the ones in your PC at home. We're here to see if it really is quicker than a human.
So, here's the challenge. I'm laying out a course with these cones. I'm going to drive round it myself to set a time, and then we're going to see whether the robot Golf can beat it.
I wanted to make the circuit as challenging as possible, so I laid out plenty of tight bends that allowed no margin for error. Time to set the benchmark.
Woo! Trying with the ESP off. Woo! Reasonable speed. Tricky tight bit coming up here.
I crossed the line in 57 seconds. Right, the car's turn. Now, first of all, it's got to learn the course, and to do that, it does need some human input. I've got to press this start button twice. And, gosh, I feel controller's already been taken away from me. But I put it into S. Beep. I press start again, and it should move off and start finding where those cones are. Ooh. It does, straight away. It's quite a unique experience. The laser scanner at the front is sensing where all the cones are and storing all the information in the car's memory. So it's going about 15, 20 kilometres an hour, taking it all in. Well, the amazing thing is that even though it's never seen this course before, it's never seen the cones, it's actually sort of plotting the course quite quickly. I expected it to be jerking around and lurching all over the place. Now, big turn here. Is it going to cope? Yep. It does. It's amazingly smooth, actually. In effect, it's recording the lap, and they tell me when it comes to playback, it's going to be a lot quicker. Let's see. With the racing line calculated, it was time to see if the car could beat my lap of 57 seconds by itself.
Now, on this occasion, I should be accompanied by young Gregor, who'll hit the emergency stop button should the car decide to go rogue. But I'll be here in the passenger seat to ensure there's no foul play. Right, Gregor, commence the experiment.
Okay.
And it's all fully in auto mode, is it? Woo! Ah! Wow! It's like sitting with a rally driver. I could actually. But your hands are not on anything, and your feet aren't on anything. it's certainly going for it, isn't it? And it really is sort of on the limit stuff. Woo! It's quite harsh on the brakes, isn't it?
But that's good. Oh.
That's good, is it? Because a better time, I suppose, yeah. Oh, what's he doing there?
Braking. That's okay.
The self-driving Golf was developed to be the ultimate test driver. Unlike a human, it never needs feeding and can work day and night. And because it drives consistent laps, you can compare things like tyre life with supreme accuracy. Like a lesson?
Yes.
What do you think?
A driver lesson?
Yeah, like a driving lesson.
Something for a driving school, you mean?
Yeah.
But nothing for economic driving.
But it's not perfect just yet. In the car's haste, it clipped a cone and crossed the line in 58 seconds. It may have been hindered by the extra weight of 2 people, but I shall mark this up as a famous victory for the human race over the silicon chip.
At last, a human victory over gadgets.
Are you kidding me? That'd be absolutely brilliant to have a car which could drive for you. What? That would be so cool. Like Kit, Knight Rider.
Kit I love,
Yeah.
but Kit's unique. Every other car, every other gadget. What's the point? I love to drive a car, to feel it, to hear it, to get it sideways.
To get it sideways?
Yeah.
Well, just on everyday driving down the shops?
Yes, I do.
You do
Anyway,
as well?
yeah, I do.
But how cool would it be if you had that car and you had one with all the gadgets and it spoke like Gregor? That would be cool. Admit that would be cool.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'll buy that. Moving on, here is one for the children. Our very own Wookiee, Tom Ford, has had a busy summer this year. Not only did he dye his hair blue...
He dyed his hair blue?
And believe me, there is a lot of hair. We also gave him an unusual challenge to try and draw a crowd at Britain's biggest dance music event using nothing but the power of a car.
He dyed his hair blue?
I know.
This is Creamfields, the biggest dance music event in the country. Last year, 40,000 people flocked to Liverpool to see the likes of Basement Jaxx, Fatboy Slim and Judge Jules. And this year, it's going to be even bigger. Because tonight, and for one night only, I am a DJ. And this is my church. Actually, this is my church. Inside here is our secret weapon that should help me draw a crowd. A Toyota Aygo? But no ordinary Aygo. It's the one-off £60,000 DJ Aygo. It includes half a kilometre of cabling, 22 speakers, 2,600 watts of power, 2 Technics SL1210s, 2 CD players and a surround sound compressor. There are 3 screens in it that just seem to play 5th gear on them, and it even comes with a colour-coded record box. It took 1,700 man-hours to build. Now, if I was going to pull a crowd using a car, then early indications were not good. The gates had opened, but no one was homing in. I'm rubbish. I needed someone to teach me how to use my DJ Aygo. Someone who can make a crowd cheer by simply raising an eyebrow. I turned to Radio 1's super cool purveyor of beats and bass, Annie Mac.
That's Annie Mac!
28-year-old Annie knows absolutely everything about music. She's a champion of new dance acts, and this summer was DJing in Ibiza. Crucially for me, she also knows what all the buttons do on the decks. Judging by the reaction of the crowd, I'd come to the right place.
First and foremost, right, tips-wise, it doesn't matter if you don't have a clue what you're doing, right? You have to look like a DJ.
Right.
So you have to look like you're totally into it, to look like you totally know what you're doing, and you have to kind of look cool. Can you do that? Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
So, with that bit not cracked, it was time to move on to DJ skills.
Ow!
I have to admit, I found this quite hard.
I still can't do it. You are backward slip.
Right.
Okay?
Fat boy.
No longer are you.
We'd attracted the attention of this massive crowd. I was feeling bullish and challenged Annie to a sound clash. Who could play the record that would get Creamfields dancing the most?
I reckon I can take it now. I've had lessons from the best. And I'm a quick learner.
So you're gonna beat your own teacher?
Oh, yes.
Like Karate Kid beating Mr. Miyagi? That's not cool.
Annie went first.
Primal strength never ever fails.
Our fan liked it, but I hit back with a classic. Incredibly, the crowd were unmoved.
This is a classic dance tune.
I was 1-0 down, and Annie piled on the punishment and actually got people dancing. If I could just work out which fader was which, I was ready to fight back.
That one. Or that one. Which one? Which one?
1-1. I'd clearly worried her, so she hit back with something more hardcore, and it practically doubled the size of the crowd. It was time to unleash my pièce de résistance. Unfortunately, all it really got was a few blokes jigging out of time. I had to admit defeat.
Have I won?
You've won.
I won!
So, do you reckon I've got a future?
What, in DJing?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
Well, no, in DJing.
In
Obviously, I showed promise.
In DJing, you know, as I said, you've displayed enthusiasm, you've displayed a love for the music and the action, but I think that you should stick to driving. If you ever need a lesson, call me up.
I will.
I'm only about £1,000 an hour, yeah?
OK, Annie. Cheers!
Meanwhile, we worked out where all the crowd had vanished to. The main stage. To see the headline act.
The Prodigy are currently playing to 45,000 people. I'm playing to 3. But I'm happy.
So you can draw a crowd with a car. Just not a very big one.
Interesting that. Not the car, his hair.
I know.
Do you think he regrets doing that?
I think he does.
Well, that's it for part 3, but coming right up, the dramatic finale when Tiff races a stunt plane.
My hero! No flicking.
Welcome back. This is the last part of the show, and we've left you all waiting long enough for your second fix of Tiff.
But just before we see the legend in action, I've got something to show you. Now,
What?
Tim, you know quite a few pop stars, don't you?
Rock stars, yes.
Oh, rock stars, excusez-moi. You can call many of them friends.
A few, yeah.
Well, do they ever beg you for your autograph or beg you to have, you know, your picture taken with them?
No.
No. Well,
Never.
check out this bad boy. This is our very own Tiff Needell in action with
Block
Block
Party.
at the V Festival earlier this year. He was there with his son.
And they wanted his autograph.
Yeah, I know. What
That's
a cool
cool,
dad
isn't
is
it? For anyone else, that'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? But that is one cool dad. I wish he
is.
was my dad.
He might be. Who knows? Anyway, roll VT,
Let me phone my
here's our
mum.
Tiff.
This is an extra 300 LP. We want to know if it's quicker round a circuit than the latest Mitsubishi Evo 9. A 9-litre, 300 horsepower engine against my turbocharged 2-litre, 360 horsepower engine. 2 laps of a tight and twisty circuit to decide the winner.
He's got up in the skies, banking around. I think we're in trouble already. I need a sunroof so I can see where he is. Oh, there he is.
To take the hairpin bends at speed,
He's shot up in the sky.
former Red Arrow Miles has to gain altitude.
And we're in the lead. Well, we were. We're in total trouble. Oh, now he's doing rolls with smoke. I'll give him smoke in his slipstream fancy pants. I could have a bit of dust in my slipstream. On the little rally course, because this is, after all, a rally-bred machine. He's ahead, but he can't go around the hairpin. So he's going to go up in the sky. He's doing some sort of loopy thing in order to come. I'm ahead of him now. We've got ahead. Oh, no, we haven't.
With 2 bends to go, it was neck and neck.
Whoa. And he's got quite a lead. Whoa.
He'd won, but this was one loss I didn't mind. Wizard show, Miles.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a way to finish a show. And he didn't even have friction on his side.
He didn't. Join us next week when I'll be teaching Freddie Flintoff how to drive very, very fast.
Tom Ford is taken out by Michael. It's only a commercial winner. In the meantime, here's a reminder of our competition to win a mini GP worth at least £22,000. See ya.
Good night.
Remember, it'll do 0 to 62 in 6.5 seconds and will top nearly 150 miles an hour. Less than 500 are coming to the UK and they've all been sold already. To be in with a chance of winning the fastest ever Mini, all you've got to do is answer this simple question. When talking about motor racing, what does GP usually stand for? Is it A, Grand Prix, B, grid position, or C, great prize? Call 0901 2930 555 to enter or text GEAR plus A, B or C to 81555. Lines close at midday on Monday the 2nd of October. And remember, you can also enter online at the programme's website, home of Fifth Gear's Facts and Figures. It's updated daily with new road tests, features and blogs from us lot.
And Fifth Gear's back next Monday night at the same time, 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, the presenters and all the team on Fifth Gear have asked us to wish Richard Hammond best wishes for a full and speedy recovery.